everybody. Welcome back to the Bullhucker Podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Josh Finley.
Yeah, you are. What's up, Josh Finley?
Not a brother. How you doing?
Just all in the red, brother.
Yeah. We suck, but I'm still proud, baby. Still proud.
On TikTok, whenever you're wearing your Nebraska stuff, there's some guy that's always like, "Go Big Red." Doesn't comment.
That's what I'm. It doesn't matter where I'm at, man. Somebody always. I was in Jamaica, found some Big Red fans down there, man.
Yeah.
So in an airport, I got to see Kenny Bell a couple of years ago. I just happened to see this dude with a huge afro going through the Denver International Airport, and I said, "That's Kenny Bell." I just gave him the shot. I was like, right here, man. And so, it's just what it is. We still suck. I still love him.
I'm a Bronco fan, but you hold out hope. But my hope's starting to pay off this year. So,
right?
We have a guest today, Mr. Finley.
I see that.
This is an old school guest from like episode number 24.
24.
Yep, we're bringing
back in the day.
Yeah, we're bringing back all the old school guys from way back when. Bill Kubic, how are you?
I'm alive.
Yeah.
I didn't know it till earlier, but
Yeah, someone told you?
Someone
pinch yourself.
Yeah, pinched. No, so I think somebody pinched me. I was just laying at a field.
No.
There's a podcast you're part of, the Brew and Chew podcast you're associated with, and it's funny because Juan Ayala runs that podcast, him and Freddie, and his neighbor Bill, and I didn't realize it was this Bill till I showed up, but I go, that's Bill Kubic, that's Bill.
Right?
He calls you William, I think, though. Does he go by William?
Well, Bill, I've heard it all.
Yeah.
I've heard it both ways.
What are you up to nowadays?
Just trying to make things work. Spent the summer helping run a business, doing weed control, and did some prairie dog removal recently.
That means kill them, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You make it sound so nice. Prairie dog removal is a slaughter, bitches. It's a slaughter.
It's a slaughter. Let's get rid of it.
It's the time of year you can give them the bait and let them bleed out. Just bleed to death.
Brett McRae was on this podcast many, many years ago, talking about his brother's like a Zen Buddhist,
Mm-hmm.
and their dad was like, they owned some land up by Pete's, and they'd have to go kill these groundhogs. So the brother would be praying, and it got to a point where he's like, all right, boy, time to stop the praying and start the slaying. Let's get this on the road,
Time's ticking here, man. We got to get this done.
We ain't getting younger.
That's right.
Yeah. None of these motherfuckers are booze, Kill them all. Bud.
Scorched earth, baby. Scorched earth.
Scorched earth.
No, I just did a job where we treated 9,000 prairie dog holes at one ranch.
Really?
Yeah.
We need to talk after this.
Oh, you got prairie dogs?
Oh, man. Up at our location in Broomfield. Just what it is. City's closing in, and it's got down. There's an open space right next to our building up there, and there's a lady that's part of the Prairie Dog Alliance that lives right in the back, and she doesn't want them in her yard, but they're all over our building's yard, dude, and they're just they rip up the sprinkler systems, they kill the trees.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're going all the way to the front now. We had one in the front door the other day, and Broomfield's a pretty nice place.
Yeah.
One in the front door. It's like, but we applied for the permit, and they said, no, we got to test for ground nesting owls. And I'm like, well, through a scope, I can tell between a prairie dog and an owl.
So, Department of Agriculture, between October 1st and March 15th, allows you to do the bait. And then the rest of the time, you have to be careful because of the black-footed prairie dogs or
Ferrets.
And then the ground owls. And I've seen the ground owls out there. But I'll tell you what, when I was out at this ranch, I saw this prairie dog. He had to have been 25 pounds. He was so fat he couldn't run from me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know what? God bless him, all right?
Yeah.
So the guy likes a little chunky.
He's doing the Lord's work, man.
So my boy has an eating problem, you know what I mean?
I don't know anybody like that.
Yeah. No. Leave him alone, Bill. The heart attack will get him. It's fine. You don't need to poison him. Brett was telling me that back in the day, they used cyanide to kill him.
Oh, I'm sure.
So when his dad had passed away, that was one of his stories, that his mom came across this barrel of cyanide, and when she went to take it to like the authorities in Sterling to get rid of it, they're like, where did you come up? Like nowadays she'd be on some kind of list.
So in between March 16th and October 1st, one of the ways it's allowed to treat is you can use the styrene gas tablets, which if any of us that have studied history, that's what you got to take a shower with in Nazi Germany.
Okay.
You'd go in there, take a shower because it's moisture activated, and they'd have them in the drains, and then they'd close off the showers and let them take showers and let the gas do its thing. And
wow, that's morbid. Hey, if you're new to the podcast,
That took a turn right there. Took a turn.
Hey, welcome to the Bullhucker podcast. If you're new to the podcast, what we do is bring on a guest. Today's Bill Kubic. Bill's going to tell us 3 stories about his life. Now, here's a kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's either borrowed, made up, or it's in a Bill story. At the end, me and Mr. Finley here are going to try and guess which one it is. Our track record's not been great,
Not
right?
good. Not good, no.
It's crashing down horribly.
I'm less than Nebraska's record right now.
I have a chance to get revenge from you and Adam.
Did we get you last time?
You guys got me.
Okay. You might be one of the first ones we got then.
How many have you both got? Like, me and you've won, I think, of all the times, maybe one.
I don't know. I don't think many. It's very rare because Voki, sometimes when I pick one, he just picks another one just not to pick mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he's just looking to beat you. That's all. You know what I mean? So he spreads out our
averages.
chances. Even if he believes what I believe, he'll still pick another one because that's just Adam. You know, he's competitive. But that's a good question. I don't know. Someday I'll have to go through all these episodes and look. Yeah, that's a lot of. It's 190 episodes. That's a lot of.
I was gonna say, when you get done, you need to get a tally, and that's what you need to put on the page.
The
all-time tally.
Yeah. Jeez, I don't know that kind
We
of
have
time.
to push on to 300 just to get that numbers up, baby.
Last time you were on the podcast, you said we give you a hard time about your shirt.
Well, no, you guys were giving me a hard time because I'd been hit by lightning twice.
Oh,
Through
okay.
the windshield.
Yeah.
You know, me and Adam was talking about the Grim Reaper having my picture on the wall and just being like, "Damn it!
Okay,
You got to get this guy."
So now it's don't fear the Reaper.
Yeah.
So that's
Copy.
why. So that's why I thought I would represent not being afraid.
So it's Bill Lucky Kubic on the show.
Lucky Q. Here's the deal, Bill. If you get hit by lightning once, it's a mistake. Twice, that's a vendetta. You know what I'm saying? God's
Amen.
like,
Right.
Didn't we hit him once, Peter? Hit him again.
I'm going to the bunker, honey. I'll be down there till the storm's gone.
I actually love storms. Nobody wants to go out in them with me.
I'm not, for sure.
Well, no, Bill, you're a lightning rod. Why would you want to stand next to you? Right?
There's 18 inches of concrete above us here. Where I think we're safe.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not touching any electrical, am I?
Not yet.
Bill, you ready to tell some stories, brother?
I'm ready and able.
Let's get it on, Ben. Josh, you want to read those off?
Yes, sir. So we're going to start it off with the shoe, the body dump, and Odin's wooden justice.
Well, Mr. Finley, why don't you pick one out, brother?
Well, I want to hear about Odin's wooden justice.
Let's do it.
Odin's wooden justice. I was kind of afraid you were going to start with that one. So, I am a card-carrying nerd. So, sci-fi, fantasy, role-playing, all of it. And I've been doing it for a very long time. I don't admit that too often, but I am. So, back in the day, when you're in high school, you have a group of friends and you sit there and you do D&D. Well, after school, we would go home to my buddy Watson's house. And Watson lived in this neighborhood where it was quite well known that there was a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses. And I apologize in advance to the Jehovah's Witnesses.
If I had to apologize to every religious group that's offended on this podcast, man,
Yeah.
that'd be
I
a
just
fun
say,
podcast.
in the book, it says you have to forgive, right? Forgive me. I've read the paperwork.
Yeah.
That's fair. So we all came home. We'd all been having a blast. And one of the things that we had been developing, because we were all sick, twisted teenagers, was we had taken a Louisville Slugger and we had drill holes, and we took the big, what are they, the 2 penny nails, right? And we had hammered them all the way through so that it was spikes on all kinds of different locations. We had taken a little bit of a Dremel and some stuff, and we put some super glue and put glass, and this thing was wicked. And
Negan's wet dream.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, right? When I saw that on Walking Dead, I was like,
Those sons of bitches got our back.
right?
I thought you held on to that.
Watson, we've been robbed.
We've been robbed. Yeah, and Watson used to call it Odin's wooden justice. Well, Watson was one of those guys that he kind of made you and Adam look small.
What are you trying to say, Bill? First the groundhog were there.
Yeah.
There's some fat shaming going on.
Shots fired.
No.
Shots fired.
This guy, he was not fat. He was just big old corn-fed. He had grown up in Iowa, came down to Denver, and we're sitting there, and he called it Odin's wooden justice. And we were sitting at his house, and we're sitting there, and one of us was coming back. I don't remember whether it was me or my buddy Jason. And we happened to look out. We saw the Jehovah's Witnesses coming down the street. So we shut the curtains. And everybody's like, quiet, 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 quiet.
Yeah.
Knock, 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 knock. We're like, what in the heck is going on? We're sitting there. Nobody's like, it's hard. Teenagers being quiet. They knocks again. Nothing. All of a sudden, the door goes click. And this dude starts walking into the house.
The Jehovah's Witnesses.
The Jehovah's Witness just started walking, and all of us teenagers popped up, and he's like, and then Watson gets up, and it's like, hello,
Yeah.
and he's like, you walked into the wrong house, and he reached over.
Gimp. Wake him up.
Get the lotion. And the best.
I bet this guy was praying for lotion because he grabbed that. He grabbed that bat, and Watson grabbed that bat and got to the door and got it shut before the guy could get out. And then there was a beatdown, and it wasn't quite like what you'd saw on Walking Dead.
Right.
He didn't want to kill him. But he tooled this guy up pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. And then picked him up and threw him out the door. This was the late 80s, early 90s.
I can't protect you. I want to just really say that.
This is a different crowd of D&D people, for sure. The ones now use foam swords. They're like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, the
We
warlock,
played with real shit back in the day.
The warlock cloaks and and the cardboard swords.
He's hit with a bag of lightning.
Right. No, this is some real. I got the hot shot.
Now, we're teenagers, so that happened really quick, and I'm sure it wasn't nearly as bad as your brain remembers it. And then he just picked this dude up and threw him out there and said, "Make sure that nobody comes back."
Wow.
And he said he never got another Jehovah's Witness the entire time that they lived at that house.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a buddy in Pueblo who had a satanic Bible. Just for the reason of Jehovah's Witnesses. When they came over, he would also like, well, let's talk about this one too. And they literally don't. They like, have a good day, sir. God bless, kind of thing, and leave. But then again, you have to have a satanic Bible in your house if that's what you want, which is not what I want.
I told them when they came to my house one time that it was a couple dudes and they were like, "Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your personal savior?" And I said, "Have you accepted that there were dinosaurs?" And literally, they just kind of turned around and walked away, and that was the end of that conversation.
In high school, one of my teachers, she said she had the greatest response ever. She kept asking these guys, "Please don't come back. Please don't come back." Finally, she answered the door in a bra and panties, eating a bowl of Fruit Loops.
How is that not going to bring him back?
How does that not happen to you? You're the milkman.
Yeah.
You don't even get that.
That's horrible.
Jehovah's Witness. You need
I
to
need to
better dress up on the side gate.
I like my birthday too much.
In her defense, she did kind of look like Adam in a dress.
I don't care.
At this stage in the game, dear Penthouse. Here she was.
When you're in the desert, bud, even mud water, you drink it. You know what I'm saying?
She was eating Fruit Loops. That's what I noticed first.
Just a box and gallon of milk, just poured her mouth and slushing the milk in
I
there.
knew she was my kind of girl.
Yeah. She's a thicky.
Oh,
Wasabi Adam. That's what we call Voki hot, by the way. So
Not picky hot. That's all I see.
No, that's
I'm not picky in this stage in the game.
Voki hot is. You never heard that before?
No,
really. Adam likes him a big lady. If you ain't 280, you ain't a lady. That's how Adam gets down. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that.
I think he's just afraid he's going to hurt him.
Maybe. I think he likes a thick woman, and God bless him, When he goes, "Oh, this girl's so hot," I'm like, was she Voki hot or rest of the world hot? Which one was she? And he's like, Voki hot. I go, okay, well, that's what you will. So
okay, then.
Yeah. I have a funny story about that later, but I won't put it on the podcast. Okay. Anyway, what'd you think of that? Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, what'd you think about that, Josh?
Where was this again?
Aurora.
Well, there you go.
Saudi Aurora.
Saudi Aurora. Yeah, I could probably see that. I thought you said maybe Boulder there for a second, so I thought, man, maybe not. But Aurora, that could happen. Even now, it could happen.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
I'm talking the Sixth and Chambers part of Aurora.
In 1989.
Nine.
Oh, wow. Bill, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
48.
40. Okay, you're a year younger than me, so.
Yep, 47.
All right.
Right there.
89. That'd be about eighth grade, 7th grade, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was the beginning of my freshman year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, somewhere on there.
That could happen.
Yeah.
We did some stuff in our. Not bad. I didn't even know it was a bad.
We
But
didn't assault God's disciples, but you
Right.
know,
We saw all kinds of stuff living in that neighborhood. I saw the police raid a house and saw a guy hop the fence, go running down, because you didn't have full yards because it was Aurora, so you didn't have full size yards. You had like the little runs in your thing. And then as the guy was going to hop the fence, I saw the cop pop up and shoot him in the back with the shotgun all the way down the thing.
Oh wow.
hell yeah.
My mom
Shouldn't
slept
have
through the whole thing.
Really? There's Aurora.
Yeah.
So
And if you run, you're going to get shot. That's how it goes.
I came back from Pueblo one day. I lived in the Raintree Apartments. Super nice now, gated community apartment. I believe I drove by. Back when I lived in the Raintree Apartments, this was my first apartment I'd ever rented. Me and my buddy Nathan Garduno. What's up, Nate? And I came home one day and there'd been a few shootings in the parking lot, which wasn't unusual from Pueblo. And I'm like, did you hear the shootings? And he's watching Reservoir Dogs. He's like, what shootings? I'm like, never mind, dude.
Never mind.
Yes, I've been listening to gunfire for a good solid hour and a half now. So
Are you bleeding?
I gotta ask the question though, because it's Pueblo. Is it gated because it's a better? They're trying to keep it safe, or is it gated because they're trying to keep people in?
Yeah, it's a good point. But no, it looks like they've cleaned up the Raintree Apartments. They're on Jerry Murphy. So I drove by. I said, wow, that's not nearly the shithole I stayed
Got all
at. So-
fancy.
Oh, but these apartments were so fucking rough, man. So rough. So that's my first place, though. Your first apartment's never.
Well, I told you like I told you on last time, my first apartment was Colfax and Moline. We saw the 3 years we lived there, somebody got killed every year we lived there.
Yeah, that tends to be tough. What was your first apartment?
Greeley, just down from UNC. It was like 4 one-bedroom apartments in a row.
Okay.
There was like a house up front, and then there was like a string of apartments in the back.
Okay.
$425 a month.
Yeah,
Me and the wife moved in, man, and I lived there for probably a year.
It was still $425. It was not cheap back then.
No, that was a lot.
I bumped up to a 2-bedroom, 2-bath for $550 a month in Pueblo, and I thought that was pretty hot shit.
Hell yeah. Don't even need that roommate, baby.
Yeah. I had to stress out to buy stuff for the second bathroom. You know what I mean? Because that was an expense I hadn't planned on. But
just toilet paper. That's all I need over there.
I got it. I got a nice shower curtain and shit.
Toilet paper and a candle.
Right.
Because I'm a single guy. Like if a girl came over, like, yeah, use the restroom in the closet or in the one in the hall. Don't use the one in my room because
not that one.
Yeah, you got the cure for Ebola growing in that bitch. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I liked it. I have a question about the weapon, though. That's tough because if the cops get you at that.
I have no idea what what happened.
You probably don't want to know where it is. If it's assaulting somebody, it's.
I believe the guy Watson moved to Utah, so.
They might use it there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Got 12 wives.
Are Jehovah's Witnesses big in Utah too, or just the Mormons?
I think it's just the Mormons,
Yeah.
man. But I think when you move there, you just get like, oh, thanks to Utah, here's 12 wives.
Oh, it's like a free 12-pack with every.
That's right. They have little name tags on, Yeah.
Wife Monday, wife Tuesday.
When Monday rolls around and we don't see Larry, we know what happened.
Right.
Yeah. I'm still answering where I'm going 12 times. That's what I'm doing 12 times. That's
so true. Yeah. So true.
They talk shit about you behind your back. That's gotta be rough. Is that still a thing?
Oh, I guarantee. I guarantee it is. That's part of their thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
What do they call it? There's a name for it.
Polygamy.
Polygamy. There you go.
Utah. That's what I call it.
Yeah, right?
On purpose? You went there on purpose?
It'd be a bitch to date, wouldn't it?
Oh. No. Well, I don't know how it all works. That took a weird turn, too.
I always think back to that movie Paint Your Wagon with Lee Marvin and Clint Eastwood.
Never seen it.
No?
No.
That's how Lee Marvin ends up getting married is because the guy comes into town and he's got 2 wives. And they're like, the mining town is like, nope.
No?
Yeah, they're like, how are you going to have 2 of something none of us have 1 of?
Yeah, okay. Never seen it. What's it called?
Paint Your Wagon?
Paint Your Wagon. You got to watch that.
Yeah, check it out. All right. We got one down. Old Odin's Wooden... Why Odin, by the way?
we're all Nordic guys.
All right. Odin's a good one. All right. 2 more, the shoe and the body dump. But one always want to hear more than the other one, so instead let's hear the shoe.
The shoe. Well, okay, the shoe. I don't know about you guys, but we all have that friend who might not necessarily have the best cleaning regimen for their personal body.
Bill, I am that friend. But keep going, please.
Fair. So, right after all of us started driving, my dad, who lived in Brighton, asked if we could watch his house when he went on a vacation. And so, of course, I got my buddies, and we were hanging out and having a blast, and doing what teenagers do, and we were running around crazy. I completely emptied the fridge and I got it stocked with I think what was back in the day was Bartles and James. Remember all those and
wine coolers, of
wine
course.
coolers, yeah. And because that was the best we could kind of come up with as still being teenagers.
That's pretty fancy, Bill. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And and then it devolved into we were all gaming like we were doing, and then. That devolved into us doing practice sword fights in the backyard and martial arts and just being crazy teenagers. And,
right.
Our own episode of Jackass, I think, would be the best way to put it. And then we all got into it, and that traveled into the house.
Yeah.
And then I had a buddy of mine who just thought it was funny to just tackle you and, try to take you out. Well...
Bill, I am that friend.
That's fair. So my good friend Jason and I were sitting there, and my buddy Pat tackled me on the couch. Well, when I went to try and kick him, I kicked my buddy Jason square in the balls.
All right.
He went down, and Pat came after me, and I grabbed Jason's shoe that had come off because I kicked him so hard in the balls his shoe would come off. And Pat was a little bit smaller guy. So I just kind of held him and just very slowly brought Jason's shoe down with the open part. Just I didn't smash him in the face, just held him. I was going to try to make him pass out or puke from the odor.
Right.
And I never actually pressed it down on his nose. At that point, Jason had gotten back up from being kicked and came after me. So I hauled off down the hallway and took a hard left turn. I hear the shoe hit the wall right behind me, just like a wet fish slapping into the wall.
Right.
I turn around and look, and there's blood running down the wall. I'm like, whoa, okay, time out, because I know blood doesn't come out of paint very easily.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we got to get this cleaned up right away.
Right.
And so I start cleaning up, and I go back, and Pat's just bleeding from his nose. Just both nostrils bleeding, just like... It's like, what the hell? You got Ebola or something?
Yeah, you dying fucker? Yeah.
So for a long time, nobody would go near Jason's shoe. But, when we got the apartment, I was telling you, I lived on Colfax and Moline when we got our apartment. I'm not kidding, he still had that same shoe. I mean, it was almost completely worn through.
Sure.
But we put that sucker up on the wall. That was our self-defense.
The shoe.
The shoe.
To ward off the evil spirits.
Yeah.
I think the shoe hat was the evil spirit.
It's like fucking sage for trailer park people or what?
Right? The freaking, what is it, the garlic, when they hang the garlic and the horseshoes and stuff? Like, gotta keep them out.
You talk about the sword fighting and stuff in the backyard. It's funny how teenage boys hurt each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's the funny stuff. When I was in high school, the big thing to do was one of your friends, if they were not wearing a hat, they're sitting back, you gently put your hand on the back of their head, and then you would slap their forehead like this as hard as you can and scream, "Demons be gone!" That's what we do to each other. Right? Now, it's funny when it happens to somebody else.
Right.
It's downright hilarious when you, "Demons be gone!" But when it happens to you, the rage inside of you suggests that the demon is not left yet.
Right.
It is now very angry
it's
at
still
you.
there.
Yeah.
He's tucked away.
Yeah. It's like, man, that's a challenge. Get up and stab your friend.
Some of the things that we got into in that weekend was just ridiculous. I mean, there was, when my dad came back, there was tables that were broken that I don't remember getting broken.
Right.
still to this day, I wouldn't admit to it because I wasn't,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say we figured out. So back in the day in school, when you had the actual wooden ruler with the metal strip in it, if you took that and you just started rubbing it against your shoe for a few minutes, get that thing just nice and hot. Not only could you just reach over, but you had 12 inches of reach, so you could just go over and I got guys in the back of the neck, and it's hot. And I mean, oh God, and you got to keep it quiet, right? You didn't want to be the one to do anything. So lay it on your arm or lay it on. I got across the knuckles one time. I'm like, it was just a deal. That's just what we did.
We had a
do
friend,
that today. You get.
We had a friend that in class he would sit. He had an outlet in the wall by him. And he would take those rulers and he would sit there and he'd make sure he was holding the wood and he'd put just that metal and then you could.
Oh, he's trying to really go.
Really. And that thing would be, it'd look like the red on this dude's jacket.
Really?
And then all of a sudden you'd hear, you're like,
whoa.
I don't know if we ever did that. That's news to me.
Oh, it was a deal.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And then some safety thing. I'm sure that wasn't the only thing people did with them, but I mean, we just figured out you just rub it on the sole of your shoe, and it just 30 seconds, 45 seconds, get that thing just nice and hot.
I thought you were going a different way with that when I was in high school. They had
or if they had the really tight rug carpets, you could sit there and do it on the carpet.
Oh, okay. We said that there was the desk. They had the little wire book thing underneath them. If you licked your finger and then rubbed it,
yep,
you start going. We would do it to every teacher, and he's like, "What is that?" I think it's the air conditioner. So he called down, and was like, "I think my air conditioner's broken." They're like, "You have an air conditioner?"
Right? There's no air conditioning here.
When you were talking about the Demon Be Gone, we would get the people that sat by the wall as you were walking out, I got to go to the restroom, and you'd see they weren't paying attention, walk by and just right in the forehead, slap them into the concrete wall.
Oh man, yeah. We used to Ren and Stimpy, the old show Ren and Stimpy.
Oh yeah.
There's the episode with the wrestler where he does the flying butt pliers. Are you familiar? So it's where the wrestler in the cartoon is launching himself ass first at people. So they used to do that to each other. We'd flying butt pliers, and you would run at somebody, jump backwards with your ass extended, and just slam them against the wall, dude. Once again, happens to other people, hilarious. Happens to you, it's not funny. You get real pissed real fast.
In my first apartment, we had somebody do that, and they caught me. I turned around. I wasn't even paying attention to what was going on. I turned around, took this dude right in the face, ass first, and me and the whole couch went over.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Have you seen the movie Waiting?
Yes, of course.
When he does that, and it's the gooch or whatever.
It's the goat.
The goat. And he opens the door, and here it is just hanging in front of me. We're like, oh, my God.
No, wait. The goat is where you... in the back. You're talking about something.
When he's got to show him the balls all the time, and so they
You know what he's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, my wife hates that movie because of it. I'm like, this is everything in this is true, the entire thing.
We played that game at Budweiser. When I worked at Budweiser, one of the secretaries I thought was not coming in the door. I thought it was Keith Llewellyn, and that was an embarrassing day.
Did you get to go to HR, or was it just okay?
No, she was cool. She laughed.
Oh, my God.
Because I think she saw the terror on my face,
You're not who I expected.
Yeah. I thought you were the boy who worked in the warehouse. Does that make me sound like not a freak? But
I worked at a carpet cleaning company where we did chem dry, where you spray the wad and it bubbles up, and then you have the floor buffer. And we all played that around there.
Oh, man.
And the one girl that worked there, I can't even remember her name, but she used to always, once she realized all of us were playing, she kept a little rubber band in her pocket. And one day, one of the guys, Matt, I think his name was Matt, was like just propped up just to get everybody. She came around and she didn't see him. And she got him right square in the sack with that rubber band.
Yeah, she gets punched for that one.
That game
came to an end
real quick.
That's the day that game died.
I can tell you, Vokey never played the game. He wasn't into it. He didn't like it. He was not pretending to like it. He didn't want to be accepted as liking it.
Right.
Everybody else there, I hate to say, I've seen their undercarriage because, as you know, then you get it. I've been kicked many times, and my sexuality questioned if you play the game. And I'm glad you brought that up. That's such a guy movie,
God.
but. I can't remember what. Now it's gonna.
I'm gonna have to watch it tonight. I thought it was the
Where
Gooch
the
one.
man's just hanging there, and Ryan Reynolds goes, "I just sat there all
Right. I mean, just eye level the whole nine.
Luis Guzman makes that movie, dude.
Right.
The Hispanic guy. Oh, you bastard!
I can't think of a movie that he's in that I don't like.
Oh, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. So, all right, what'd you think about that one, Josh?
I like that one. I'm probably that guy too, man. So I could relate.
Yeah, but here's the thing: every teenage boy, their feet stink. Every teenage boy.
Everyone.
My buddy, and he's still my brother to this day. My buddy Jason. I'll tell you, there was a period of life when I expected the CDC to show up every day, like that monsters with the.
They want to scrape shit off him to just test him,
just
see
do
what
a
it can
little test.
cure. Yeah. You guys played sports in high school, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's always the one locker of the guy you're talking about. Obviously. And you got to be like, dude, you need to take that shit and wash it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting all woozy over here, bro. Like,
just take the garden hose and just rinse it out. Something that's better than what you got.
We would take the locker and empty it. We would just take everything out and throw it in the shower.
Oh, really?
They'd come back from whatever they were doing, and it would just be in there, just all of it, shoes.
Oh man, there was
clothes.
There was one guy. I was like, you know what? My mom will wash it. She might be pissed about it, but she wants me to keep me around because my God, dude,
Right.
But just the smells alone from like athletes, you know what I mean? It's
a different kind of like when you get that worked up for that long.
Yeah.
It's a different.
No, it's a stank, bro. It's a stank. So that's here nor there. So yep. All right, I liked it too. But that sounds like a teenage boys fucking each other story.
Right.
We've all been there. So all right, we got one last one. The body dump.
The body dump.
Well, the body dump goes all the way back to a party that I got drugged to in high school, and met this girl, and I think that's when my love for redheads first happened. I'll never forget Talia to this day.
What's up, Talia?
God, I hope she, yeah.
Reach out.
I'd kind of like to know what happened to her. Well, her older brother was a Golden Gloves boxer and her protector, and he would tell you things like, well, if you want to date my sister, then you got to come down and you got to at least go one whole round with me in the ring so I know you can protect her.
How much just to hit it?
Right? Just shot to the face. I mean,
Yeah.
Went through all that. Actually got to be pretty good friends with the guy. Well, again, being a card-carrying nerd, my mom used to work at MCI. We all remember good old Bernie and MCI.
Bernie
Madoff?
I was going to say Madoff,
Oh, yeah. I thought it was like a flow.
I was hoping I wasn't missing like a Weekend at Bernie's reference, but I thought it was Madoff.
I thought it was like a flow from, a spokesperson when he said Bernie from MCI.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, yeah. My mom worked 18 and a half years, and then she was going to cash out at 20, and Bertie crashed the company.
What's up, Bernie Madoff? Some bitch.
Right? So, but when my mom worked there, she got to be good friends with a lot of the people there. And she got one of those old school photocopiers.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm talking about back before it was, the toner where you just plugged in the toner, right? Mm-hmm. Where it was you had to actually open up the container and you had the jugs and you had to.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it done. I'm not going to lie to you that I've ever had that process.
So we had that photocopier in my basement for years.
All right.
And then getting ready to move out, my mom's like, you got to clean, like, this basement's got to be cleaned before you leave. Didn't know shit from shit. And so me and my buddy went to go carry that photocopier up the stairs from the basement. And that toner just straight down me, like just a shower.
Yeah.
And I mean, just in my shoe, big puddle on the floor.
Yeah.
It was so being, kids or younger guys, what do? You start grabbing trash bags and you start wrapping it up in trash bags. Right?
Yeah.
That sounds logical.
Yeah.
And then you still got darker stuff all over your. We're like, oh shit, this thing's ruined now.
Right.
What do you do with it now? And we were like, and my buddy was like, hey, wait, didn't you used to go to live in that apartment down on Colfax and Moline? He's like, yeah. He's like, didn't you have a dumpster down there? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, let's just go fucking throw it in the dumpster. I was like, well, if you want to get shot at, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, shit, I ain't afraid. So we throw it in the back of his Blazer, and we start driving down there. We're going down Colfax. Yeah, I know your favorite road from your CDL test.
Yes.
And here's that brother of Talia, and he's like starts pulling up, and he's waving and honking. We're like, hey, yeah, we're going over here. And he's like, oh yeah. So he follows us in. Well, we got to the light, got to turn. He didn't make it through the light at Moline. Yeah. So we go pull in and open the back. He pulls into the driveway right as we're taking this big bag of stuff, throwing it in the dumpster, and then I close the dumpster.
Yeah.
And of course, stuff. And we got rags that my mom had just thrown a whole bunch of towels to us, and we were just wiping up. And he's like,
what color's the toner? What color's the toner?
Well, it was nighttime, but it was black.
Okay.
So we're in blackface, dumping a body in Aurora.
He says, what are you doing? Oh, it's cool. I kicked her brother's ass.
Right? And he like legitimately stops and looks at me, and he's like, Bill? And I'm like, what's up, man? I'm like, I come over and I'm going to shake his hand, and like I'm wiping my hands up. And he's like, so who is that? And at that moment in time, my brain flashed on the fact that his dad was a detective for a police department.
Yeah.
And I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
We were like, no, dude, that's a photocopier. He's like, oh, okay. And I was like,
sure it is.
The sick part is there might actually be a body in that fucking dumpster, and a photocopy.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so we're like, dude, trust me. Come. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. He's like, well, I'm going to head downtown. I'll see you guys. You guys coming down 16th Street Mall? We were like, yeah. And he's like, okay. I was like, I'm just going to go change,
Yeah.
And he's like, okay. So next day, all of a sudden, I don't know. I mean, remember, this is pre-Facebook, pre-internet, like chat rooms and stuff kind of existed, right. But, it was all BBSs and stuff like that back then. And people were like,
what's a BBS?
It's a bulletin board system. It's back before the internet, where you had to dial into somewhere. Like in the movies where you put the phone down on the modem. And
I got my first cell phone because it was forced on me, so I don't know. Okay,
I never had to put the phone down, but I definitely remember dial-up.
Yeah.
Right.
And porn sucked.
My first internet was web TV, but anyway,
45 minutes to get a picture of boobies.
Oh, a boobie! You're like,
but you know what?
Damn it!
Worth it, because we didn't know any better. Worth it.
It was a simpler time. It was a simpler time.
Yeah.
But next thing we know, all of our friends are like, "Hey, who was in the dumpster? Like, you can tell us." Like, everybody's coming up to us, and we're like, dude, it was a photocopier, like, And that went on for several years. And finally, my buddy, who I don't think was super stable, my buddy Nick wasn't super stable to begin with.
Right.
He's like, freaks out one day. We were downtown on Tabor, and he just stands up. He's like, we did not throw a body in the dumpster. So it was like all of us just kind of started fading out away from him.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was just one of those moments where the guy at the piano stopped playing, and we looked over and everybody's just staring, and we're like,
yeah. See, that's where I'm different. I don't let everybody think if there's not a body, you didn't do anything wrong. Mm-hmm. But it helps you street cred if they think you'll kill them.
Right?
You want to find out?
Well, everybody thought Nick was that guy.
Hey, anyway. What's up, Nick? Are you in contact with him anymore?
No. He's last I heard, he was a
federal judge.
No, he was a teacher at a school in Tennessee.
Really? Oh, that makes sense too.
Like a private school, like a religious private school.
Yeah.
And his dad was the colonel that closed down Fitzsimmons Army Medical Base. So, I mean, he grew up in the Army brat, all over the place.
You're throwing down some serious Denver references, man. That's
right.
That's all I know.
There might be some extra body dump. Might be some real shit.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was gonna say, so yeah, it went a long time, and I ran into that guy just before my 10-year reunion, and he was still convinced that we'd thrown a body in there.
Did you ever date his sister?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
He didn't fight you?
Oh, no. I had to go do a round with him before he let me take her on a date.
How'd that go?
I remember swinging twice, and then I remember kind of coming to, and like he had made me wear the headgear, like the big padded sparring headgear, and I was looking out the ear hole of the headgear, and I was on my knees, and he's like, "You're all right, guy," and I'm like,
Yeah. Did you make her wear their headgear when you got some?
"No."
I would have. I mean, that's how I got here. So guess what? Shit rolls downhill.
Right.
No, I love that hair too much.
Yeah, redheads.
I dated this girl. It was my 8th grade year. I went to Warnaco West, and Greeley was the skating rink, and so we went
what was
there.
it called?
Warnaco.
Oh.
It was the. I mean, it was the only skating rink around, but me and my buddy went there. We met these girls. They're twins. Names was Barb and Pam or whatever, and then they tell us as we go through the night, well, we're actually triplets. Our brother's at the house, and we're like, cool, So we didn't ask nothing, and went on a couple times. I think me and him went on a double date. We ended up back at their house, and we're watching movies, and her brother's in the basement. He came upstairs, and these girls, dude, I'm not lying. I mean, they were, I think, freshmen, and we were 8th graders, maybe 120 pounds, 130 pounds apiece, Looked almost exactly alike. The brother came up the stairs. This dude was like 320. He played for Greeley West. He was some lineman. Then he went to Washington, and he ended up being a coach for them. He died later on of like some heart condition or whatever. Obviously, he got huge. But I'm like, how the fuck are you triplets?
They were quadruplets.
Yeah, he ate the other one.
I was gonna say he ate the other two. That's
my
the secret.
God. He was huge, but yeah, that was always the deal. Like we're not gonna fuck with those girls because he'll kill us, or eat us. One of the two.
That's hilarious.
Man, huge. I can't remember his name, but the Barb Bush.
That was her name?
Yeah, her name was Barb Bush and
What?
Pam Bush. No, I'm sorry, that'll probably get me fucked up in Greeley right now, but
Really?
I don't know. I guess they got around. I didn't know.
So,
I was in 8th grade.
so some guys weren't afraid of his ass. It's
Oh, I'm sure they were, but I, hit it and quit it or whatever.
hit it on low.
That's like that group that I hung out with my freshman year of high school, lived in Aurora, and we all would go to my buddy Brian's house. So that summer, like after that freshman year at summer, we found out that Brian's parents, they went to bed at like 8:39, and they sleep through
Anything.
car crashing into the house. So we'd all just be like, yeah, we're gaming, and they didn't say we had to go to bed anytime. We'd wait and we'd hear him go to bed, and then good night, right out the back door. And they lived the back part of his house was like this whole park. There was like all these walking trails and all this crazy stuff. And I remember the main thing is I was trying to get with Brian's sister.
Yeah.
That wasn't happening. But I remember we were out walking one night, and we found this house, and this girl, like second floor of this house, she's just changing right in the window. We're like, like, dude,
That sounds like an 80s comedy.
That'd still be me today, but
right?
what?
You're just much creepier
Well,
now.
it was funny, like, so, and it started out as just we saw it one time, and we were like, oh. And so then the next day when, we stayed over again.
Camped out with some popcorn.
Well, so she had one of those annoying little kickable dogs. Those, beep, 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 beep.
They're called
So we started
Chihuahuas.
We started bringing little peanut butter meatballs. We'd take some peanut butter and some hamburger, and we would just throw them over. Every time the dog would get free, we'd just toss one over, keep it quiet so they weren't looking out to the walking trail, Well, then one night I remember I'm standing there, and I mean, you want to talk about, I must have been way more hormonal than I realized. So I'm standing there, and the sprinklers for the park's going, and I'm just standing there in the sprinkler
In the rain.
just did
Throwing meatballs at a dog.
over this big old privacy fence. And this buddy of mine, he'd been telling me all night, he was like, I got a bad feeling tonight, Bill. I got a bad feeling. My buddy Sean, and he was just like, I got a bad feeling.
God.
And then, so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, I got that feeling. And I leaned around the corner of the fence, and coming up the side of the house was this biker. This is like, he couldn't have been but 5'6", 5'7", in leather vest, commando running with a fucking sawed-off shotgun. And I turned around and I was like, "Gone!" And we all took off. hauling back for safety.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I was the biggest guy, but that night I think I was the fastest guy. I burned everybody. We get to Brian's house, we go over the privacy fence. My buddy Cameron, who I tell you, we all had that one friend that was like not good.
Mm-hmm.
I am that friend.
He went over the fence and all of us hit the ground and rolled into the darkness. He goes over the fence and hits the above ground pool. So all you hear is boom. Lights go on in the house. We're all just laying still in the flower gardens.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
They'll never notice.
Yeah. The first cop is like, tells the second cop, like, I don't know what's weirder, the fact he's wet or they have meatballs covered in peanut butter.
Right.
Riddle me that, Batman.
I was just in my head, I'm going through going, this lady's in her bedroom going, every time I take my top off, the dog shits peanut butter and fucking hamburger. I don't know what's going on.
Or she thinks the dog's a pervert because the dog won't stop licking its lips because it's got peanut butter in its mouth.
Right.
Are you into this?
Dude, the doctor, she goes in, I don't know what's wrong with the dog. He's full of peanut butter. It's not me.
Well, the best part about that is we had a Stand By Me moment the next night. So the next night we're out and we're walking down the path. We're like, we're not going over there. Like, have a little bit of discipline.
Yeah.
We're kind of meandering that way.
Of course.
And then we're walking by this fence and this big old husky comes out of this guy's house. He obviously the dog wanted out and he let him out. And, it's probably about 11:30 at night. The dog comes, rah, rah, rah. And the guy comes out and screamed, "Hey, Duke." Obviously, the dog's name was Duke. We all heard, "Hey, you," and we didn't stay at Brian's house the whole rest of the summer.
Nice.
Jesus.
Well, what'd you think about that one, Joshua?
That's got potential.
The belly dump, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
my buddy Jason was telling me when he first started Pepsi back in late '90s. We graduated together. That it was funny because they had the big bag and box with all the syrup for the pop.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There was a Hawaiian punch that was punctured, and so they drug it to a trash can to throw it away. But he said it looked like just this blood of like they had murdered someone and just thrown it away, man. So people just drove by and looked at it and like, what the hell?
I worked at Good Times when I was a kid, and Good Times had Pepsi, and we had the where you'd get the syrups for the machines.
Yeah.
And we had all those boxes.
Yeah, that's a bigger box. Yeah.
Right. And we had one up, and I swear to God, we thought that we had one of those boxes. Those were heavy.
Yeah.
We thought one just killed this girl because she's like easing it off, and we were like, okay. She's like, I got this. And all of a sudden, it's just, and just you see her arms and her legs sticking out.
Oh,
we were like, oh.
She okay? I'm not closing tonight, goddammit.
Yeah, right?
Have you ever broke one of those things?
Oh, yeah.
They break unless it's diet, but if it's a regular like Pepsi, dude, it's all sugar. Mm-hmm. Cleaning that up is the worst thing you'll ever do in your life.
Really?
You cannot clean it. It just it's like smearing shit everywhere. Like no matter how much you wipe or clean this, it's so bad.
You have to get like super, super hot water and like liquefy it.
Yeah, but you have to mop it
100 times.
You'll kill a mop, dude. It just that stuff's horrible. I mean,
Jesus.
You probably shouldn't drink it. Hey, speaking of,
cheers.
Yeah.
Not with Coors, dang it.
Yeah. We'll lick that off the floor. It's fine.
I used to, when I worked at that Good Times, I would open the soda machines, and you could actually just dispense the syrup, not the soda water.
Oh my God!
And so I would fill like half a cup with like the syrup, and then I'd fill it with just a straight Mountain Dew.
Oh man. And that's your recipe for diabetes, in case you was
I was
wondering.
going to say, Wilford Brumley just told you to eat your oatmeal.
Now that's an old reference.
Is that the voice I kept hearing?
You have diabetes.
All right, I liked it too. The body dump. That's that's funny, man. But like I said, I would let him keep living it because
Right.
yeah. So, all right.
It's funny how offended we were about that.
Yeah.
Well, you think about that now as you get older. It's exactly.
Yeah.
But would you, when you were a kid, have thought that?
No, I was a pretty good boy when it came down
Right?
to it.
You were like, wait. I wasn't necessarily always a good kid.
Yeah.
But I didn't want that kind of rep.
Right. I would have just dropped that thing off on a country road somewhere. That's what I would have done. That's how I'd have
We didn't
rolled.
have country roads in Aurora.
Well, you drive far enough, you'll find one. So,
There's enough alleys.
yeah, there's enough valleys. It's Aurora, bro.
It's Aurora.
When I was a kid, gun club, like what is that, Southwest Plaza or whatever that is now out there, that mall, Flatirons Mall, right? Like that was all still plains and like country houses.
Sure. because we're old, Bill. I hate to bring it to you. We're old. You know?
Right. I remember when this was all pasture.
Until I moved out here, that was the closest I'd ever come to a country road.
Really?
Well, in Aurora, there is a place. There's a bridge that's supposedly haunted.
Yeah. No, it's Riverdale Road.
Right, and that's where we used to go to make out with our girlfriends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just to see if something would happen.
Did it?
Once,
right.
just once, just once.
Making out or the ghost?
No, I'm just kidding. No, the ghost thing. Like we to this day we can't prove that it wasn't another one of our friends or something. But like you heard what sounded like have you ever driven like through part of a tree and like it makes that scratching noise down your car?
No.
Oh, okay.
Right when you drive through like the branches. And
Yeah.
I'm sure if you delivered.
Yeah.
Right.
Usually driving through a tree is not a good
I
thing.
was going to say no.
It's the last
Not that
thing
we're
you
going to say
hear.
on this as a recorded episode. No, we haven't driven through
No,
a tree.
not. I'm talking Pepsi days.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, no. But yeah, the like that noise.
Yeah.
Like we were just sitting there completely stopped, and you could hear it down the doors. And
Right.
It's just like.
Do you know what we're talking about, Riverdale Road?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard that until last year, the Halloween episode. Silver Vincenzetti came on and was telling us about Riverdale Road, so I went home and I Googled it and started watching YouTube videos. And one of these days,
About 3 miles from
cruise.
there, there's actually I don't know if it's one of the very first cemeteries in Aurora,
yeah,
but there's a cemetery.
that's probably creepy as shit. So, all right. So what we do now, Bill, is we rock, paper, scissors to see who has to guess first. Were we doing that the first time you?
Yeah.
What are you, 3 or 4 pumper?
Me, I'm a rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
That's horrible.
Yep.
All right, we're
That's your
3
shot.
pumping. We're 3 pumping. We're not. We giving up on you. You're
All right, I'll see you guys later.
you're dead to us.
Ready?
This has been a battle for the ages with the 3 and 4 pumpers
Yep.
over probably 185 episodes. I think it was 5 or 6 actually. When Dencio was the first one to be like, "What are you guys doing?" She didn't understand why we weren't shooting. And, what are you doing, weirdo?
Yeah, I didn't
Well,
even hear that.
I was gonna say you lost last time, so
Oh, did I?
on my first one?
That's
yeah,
his Adam sucks. Well, he's actually better than me. So, all right, we got 3 stories. We got the shoe, the body dump, and Odin's wooden justice. What do you think about?
Well, my overall is not very good,
Okay.
but my heart's telling me right now. Every time I say that the one that I think the one is it is
Yeah.
always never it,
Yeah.
and so I think the Odin's wooden justice is the Hucker. But like I said, my average is not good.
Yeah.
So the shoe I can definitely believe. I'm that guy. I know that guy.
Yeah.
So that one I'm just going to eliminate. But it's between the body dump and Odin's wooden justice, and that the Odin's wooden justice just seems over the top. But it was also
Yeah.
1989
Yeah.
in Aurora. Anything could have happened. So I'm going to say the body dump
Okay.
is the Hucker.
All right.
I feel like the other one, and if I'm wrong, I'll just chalk it up to bad guessing. But that's what I think.
And I'll be honest, I think they're all bullshit. I'm kidding.
all right, that's a wrap.
The shoe I'll go with, pretty simple story. Just high school boys doing high school stuff,
Yep.
like to abuse each other. The body dump, I'm with you, but I'm going to go with Odin's wooden justice. Because I think someone would have came back and had a little talk with you if you beat a Jehovah's Witness. They are
Right.
still American citizens, so you can't you pull one in and beat.
Are
them with
they
a-
though?
Yeah, I mean legally yes, but I actually don't know any Jehovah's Witnesses. I can't even. We talked about this on an episode. Were you on that episode when we talked about this? I was always thrown because there was a friend in Pueblo who was Hispanic who was a Jehovah's Witness, and for me it was weird because all the Hispanics I know were Catholic.
Right.
We're all. It's almost like
Right.
But
It's like DNA.
yeah, it's weird. It's like you're Roman Catholic. That's just Amen, Odale. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go with Odin's wooden justice. You're going with the body dump.
Body dump is what I'm going with.
Before you flip that over, I do want to say thank you to the Brush Emporium at 210 Clayton Street. Thank you for giving us a place down here to have our podcast studio. You came down here for the first time the other day.
No, I've been here in the studio for
Yeah.
the first time. Yes,
Yes, but you've eaten here
I
a
got
lot.
to sign the wallet. Oh yeah, I eat here as much as I can.
Oh yeah,
The pizzas
Great
are
place.
the
phenomenal.
wings. Did you order wings?
They're waiting
I love
up
it.
front, baby.
I love it.
I'll tell you what. Like
They
I've
love
kind
me.
of tried. I've tried the noodles. I've tried the wings. hands down, in my opinion, the pizza's
the
what
pizza's,
makes this place.
It's excellent, man. But the wings are very good. Have you had the wings? You've had
yeah.
the wings?
Yeah. They're
Which
not
ones?
bad.
You ordered the barbecue.
I'm always
right?
Buffalo. No, Buffalo.
Buffalo?
Yeah,
Okay.
always.
Yeah, I'm garlic pepper. But anyway, so much good food here to have.
Yep.
They have some antiques upstairs now. You can come look through the antiques. A lot of cool stuff upstairs. Also a great seating area with the old school board games up there.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to bring the kids out and have an old school board game, old school family night, come on out to the 210 Clayton Street, the Brush Emporium.
The energy out here is just phenomenal.
And they're great people, man. And they're for people who love this town. They've done a great job, and it's a great place. So please make sure you support it, because when you don't support little business, it goes away.
Right.
So don't let that happen.
Big corporate idiots come in.
Yeah, that's right. So, and these guys have done awesome. And once again, they've given me this down here to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And other vendors upstairs, the local vendors
Yeah.
and things like that. They, under one roof, you can find personalized gifts,
Right.
food,
Especially
ice cream.
with Christmas coming up.
yeah, that's a great. If you want a great homemade present from a local person,
Yep.
210 Clayton Street. Make sure you come down and check it out. So, and once again, on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, there's a little red dot. That's our subscribe button. Go ahead and click that. It's a small click for you, but it's a huge click for us. Hell yeah! So, having said all that, now we got
Like and subscribe.
Life and soup. We got our whoring done. So, Bill, I'm going Odin's Wood and Justice. My man's going to Body Dump. Let's see what you got.
Are you sure you want to see this?
Probably not.
It's the shoe, isn't it?
If it's the shoe. I should
Odin's
have.
Wood and Justice. What's not true about it?
So it's actually a story that happened to a buddy of mine who lived in Utah, in Logan, Utah. Yeah, so that's really the only thing is I wasn't there. I just inserted myself into
It's a
that.
borrowed story.
It's an actual story
It's an actual story
from Utah.
from Utah, from Logan, Utah.
At least the
And was it a female Jehovah Witness?
No, it was some guy,
Some dude.
Just like and
It's like maybe
you talk
12
about
wives. It's just 11 now.
you think about somebody should have come back and probably
Yeah.
But this guy was, from everything I heard about the description of this guy, he was sketch. He was like, maybe he wasn't really a Jehovah's, because what he was telling them was no, we're gonna I was just gonna leave some flyers and stuff for you in the house.
So you think they were robbing him?
I think they,
that's a pretty good scam. Have you
not to give anybody any ideas.
Yeah,
Wink, wink.
I mean, I think Jehovah's Witnesses is the worst way to rob somebody, because nobody lets them in the house anyway. So
right. And how you going to walk down the street with a bag of shit?
Easiest way to case a neighborhood, though.
Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your mover, saver? Got a TV? We'll get rid of it.
2
dudes and a disciple.
I don't know. After
Oh my god!
after hearing that story from my buddy and stuff, way back when he told that, he then took us and showed us the movie from Matt and Trey Parker, Orgasmo.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
No. So
is it like
Matt
Team America?
So which one's the blonde one? Which one? The one not with the one with the glasses.
I don't know.
Trey.
Yeah.
So Trey Parker, not the one with the glasses and the fro, but he's a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh.
And the whole thing is his girlfriend is being held against her will, and he has to go into the porn industry to save her.
Well, looks like I'll be renting some tonight. All right.
It's fed.
Paint your wagon.
I wouldn't watch both of those in the same night.
Let me put that in the Google search tonight. Paint the wagon, Orgasmo.
and
paint your wagon.
Oh, paint your wagon.
Yeah, then end up on some weird government list. All right. The shoe's a true story.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah.
The same friend that told me the story about Odin's Wood and Justice. That was his shoe.
All right. And the body dump, a true story.
Yeah. Yeah. That was just the craziest night.
You guys had a little street cred.
Yeah. For a long time. Time.
That's awesome. Well, this has flown by pretty quick. We're already at an hour, so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Bill, thank you for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me back. Like I'm excited. This is a good company. I run into Adam all the time.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I don't like every time I turn around, it's like there's Adam.
It's
usually
funny.
He's sitting there taking a break.
Yeah, I never see that dude ever. Unless he comes
I don't
down
see
here.
him around at all. I see you once in a while driving, like in town when I'm messing around. I'll see you in the truck.
Yeah.
But I see. For some reason, do you do the feedlot out on 21? Out past Crafts.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where my in-laws live on 21 and Q out here, and I'll be going to turn back onto 34, and it's like, hey.
I might be flipping you
And
off.
he's like, yeah.
Under the window.
Yeah. Oh, I
It's
can't.
it's not always under the window. I'll tell you.
Oh, it is now.
That's how you know he likes you. If he flips you off, that's how you know he
It's
likes you.
above the window.
You
You're
got a
good.
camera making sure I don't flip people off. That's the big thing with them. The little AI is like, yeah. Well, Bill, like I said, it's good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's good to be seen.
Yeah, thank you for coming out, man.
Awesome.
It's always a good time. So I'm glad we can get you back out before. So we'll get into that later. But anyway, I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Josh Finley.
Hey, John.
I'm Bill Kubic.
Thank you, Bill. Peace.
Peace.